Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Now, lines from Ulysses, part 2, the Trojan War. We will discuss a complete story about Trojan War, how it took place, who won the battle. Actually, Homer was a Greek poet of two great epics, Iliad and Odyssey. In Iliad, he discusses about this war, and Odysseus is his work, and in Odyssey he has a heroic character, Odysseus. So in Greek we say Odysseus, and in English and Latin we say Ulysses. So we're starting a great story. You will definitely learn. It is a long story, so I will try to make it easier for you. Yes, dear students, Trojan War. We begin Trojan War story from here. The main reason of this war was Helen. Helen was a character, beautiful woman. Helen was beautiful woman, as I have discussed before. That Homer work, Iliad, made this story, made this Trojan War famous. It was a war between city of Troy and Greek. Trojan War is an epic war, and it continued till 10 years. Fight between Olympian gods. The story begins from a party. There is a party, and every god was invited in that party. But there was a goddess of discord, Eris. She was not invited. So she came to the party without invitation with the golden apple, the apple of gold. And on that apple there were some words written, for the most fair. On that gold apple, these four words were written, for the most fair, means for the most beautiful. So she threw that apple in the dining hall where the party was taking place. So there were many people, many beautiful people, and everybody claimed that they wanted that apple. But at last, everybody gave up. But three goddesses were interested in that apple. The names of three goddesses were Aphrodite, Hera, and Athena. The three announced that we are the most beautiful lady, and we are going to have this golden apple. So they were announced to be the most beautiful ladies of the evening. But it was hard nut to crack, to select one of them. So Zeus was also there. He suggested them to go to Mount Ida and meet King Paris. Why? Another character. If you are writing down, so write down characters. It will be easy to understand, and examiner can ask you questions. Examiner can ask you in MCQs. Paris, who was the Paris? I'll tell you ahead. Paris has talent to decide who is the most beautiful lady. He had to decide actually. So they met Mr. Paris and offered, first of all, Hera offered that Hera spoke, announce her the most beautiful lady, and she would make him the king of rich kingdom. Athena spoke that announce her the most beautiful lady so that she will give and she will give the military force, she will give the authority to the military, and she will empower the military of Greek so that you can fight with Troy and win. But the third one, Aphrodite, she was a wise goddess, and she knew what a young man needs. So she spoke, if you announce me the most beautiful lady, so she would make Paris love to the. Okay, ji. So, students, Aphrodite spoke and she offered, if Paris announces Aphrodite the most beautiful lady, she will make and she would make Paris love to the most beautiful girl of the world, that is Helen. Then finally, Paris decided to announce Aphrodite the most beautiful lady. Now, she would be given the golden apple or the gold apple. This is a startup. Now, what happens next? As Aphrodite announces that she will make Paris love Helen. So, Troy and Greek. The king of Troy was Paris, and Helen was a queen of Greek, wife of Menelaus. Menelaus is a king of Greek, and Menelaus is a richest person, richest king. So, but at that time, Menelaus is on journey. He is not there in his kingdom. So Paris does what? Helen saw Paris. Paris saw Helen. They fell in love, and Helen is now with Paris in the city of Troy. So Helen comes to Troy, city of Troy, and the story goes on. When Menelaus learns that his wife has been eloped by Paris, he prepares himself for attacking the city of Troy. Now, fellow students, dear students, the brother of Menelaus, Agamemnon, it has different pronunciation. Brother of Menelaus, who also wants to take revenge from Troy. So he said to his brother that I will be fighting with you. So now Greek and the city of Troy, the war starts. But the problem for Greek that it was not easy to attack the city of Troy, because the walls of the city of Troy were very strong. They needed a strong man. And the war continued till 10 years without any result. Now listen to me very carefully. Among Greeks, there was a warrior, Achilles. He holds an extraordinary power. Nobody could kill him, hit him, and I'll tell you why. Achilles loved a girl and left that war. he decided not to fight in that war, and he wanted to go back home. But in the absence of Achilles, Trojan were all alone. Sorry, Greek were all alone, and their power divided because they all depended upon Achilles. Achilles left the war. So Trojan burned the ships of Greek, and the Greek were in hot waters actually at that time. So they wanted Achilles come back and fight. So dear students, there were three warriors: Achilles, Ulysses, and Ajax. Examiner can ask you in MCQs. In Greek mythology, there were three warriors: Achilles, Ulysses, and Ajax. Now, students, there were three warriors: Achilles, Ajax, and Ulysses. Now, Achilles decided to fight when Hector was a brother of Paris. Fight when Hector killed Patroclus. Patroclus is a friend of Achilles, and now Achilles wants to take revenge. Achilles killed Hector, and he returned his body to Troy and stopped the war for some days. Achilles falls in love again with Polyxena, and she was a princess of Troy. She is a cousin of Hector and Paris. Achilles married to that girl, and now Paris, who is not a brave character in this story. Paris got in anger, and he hit an arrow filled with poison on Achilles' heel, and Achilles died of that poisoned arrow. Why? Now listen it to me very carefully. Achilles, why Achilles died of that poisoned arrow hit by Paris on the heel? It has another story. Listen to the story. When Achilles was born, his mother dipped him in a river. The whole body was dipped down, but his mother was holding him from the heel. Therefore, there is a famous idiom in English language: Achilles heels. Achilles heels means the weak point of a person. Achilles heel. So that heel was not dipped down, and therefore poisoned arrow was hit by Paris, and Achilles died off. After Achilles' death, war continued. Now Ulysses comes in, and he wants to finish this war. He plans. Ulysses plans, and with soldiers of Greek, they made a horse made of wood, and it was like Titanic, the enormous horse, but it was shallow, and so many fighters could sit into that horse. It was night time. They left it near the gate of Troy. It was a plan, and announced that you win, we lose. Now Ulysses made a plan, and they made a plan. They made a horse, and they left that horse near the city of Troy gate, and they announced that you win, we lose. All right. So it was totally a drama from Greek. Actually, Troy people wanted to kill that horse, wanted to burn that horse. But in Greek mythology, a horse is a sacred animal. So therefore, they did not burn that. Ulysses was in that horse as well, and at that night, Trojan listened to the announcement that Greek lose and we won. So they started celebrating, they started drinking, they started dancing and all that, and after that they slept. When they slept, Ulysses with his soldiers attacked and burned the city. Now, dear students, finally Greek won the battle, and now after the war, after some years, 10 years, they started going back home. Ulysses and his soldiers started going back home. But on the way home, they faced whirlpool. Why they are facing so many problems? Even they have won the war. Reason. Actually, Greeks have burnt some of their temples, religious places. Therefore, gods were angry with them. So the god of sea god, sent whirlpool, some difficulties in the water as punishment. Further, in this whirlpool sea storm, so many soldiers died, but Ulysses saved himself. Now Ulysses was on his way home to Ithaca. Ithaca. Now they were in whirlpool for so many days. After this sea storm, they reach an island. They reach a strange island named Lotus Eaters. And Lotus Eater, they took some lotus over there and lost their memory. After Trojan War, Ulysses was away from his house till 10 years, and finally he reached Ithaca. Now, lines from Ulysses starts. Lines from Ulysses. The poem, we are starting from here. So it is a background of a story, Olympian gods, Trojan War, and after Trojan War, after so many years, 10 years, Ulysses now he has become old, but he is very enthusiastic. And what does he say? And what does Alfred Lord Tennyson wants to tell us in his poetry? Extraordinary motivational poetry. So we are starting it.